Hey Javier, I have a question for you.
What's your question, Daniel?
Hey, do you remember in high school we had this one group chat? It lasted 3 years, lasted us during COVID. Do you remember a chance by what it was called?
We had a lot of group chats in high school, honestly.
I
They
wish,
were very memorable.
yeah, but
a
you,
lot of
you know
them.
the one I'm talking about. You know the one.
I feel like if I say the name of it, we might get off to a bad start. So I'm going to guess that to pick up my couch.
Welcome to the Pick Up My Couch podcast. Hi, welcome to Pick Up My Couch. I'm your host, Daniel Feyersinger. I'm a student here at the University of Nevada Reno. I study journalism with a hard emphasis on film. I'm joined today by my co-host.
Javier Gandara, and I am not a student at UNR currently, but I am working full-time trying to figure out what to do with my life currently.
That's pretty accurate. A lot of students out there are currently trying to figure out how to survive in today's modern day. And I can't think of someone who's more representative of how that is than our special guest today, Tony Sarabia.
Hi, well, it's an honor to be in this podcast today. My name is Tony Sarabia. I'm a marketing major, and a little few facts about myself is you can usually find me either hiking, playing volleyball, but when I'm staying inside, I'm either doing some art or just drawing, just one of the two, even though basically the same thing.
Dude, awesome. All right, guys. Well, this is the first episode. I wanted to start off with a little new segment we're going to have. It's called High, Low, and Buffalo. You're going to tell us your highs of the week, your lows of the week, and a buffalo, just a random thing that happened throughout the week. Javier, want to start us off?
So this weekend was Halloween, which is honestly a really cool time. I love Halloween. I love it a little bit more than Christmas. I think it's a lot of fun.
I disagree.
Yeah, because your opinions don't matter. But this weekend, I had a party with my friends, Tony Sarabia and Daniel Feyersinger included. Very fun, very cool people. And honestly, I want to say the low of that was it ended too soon.
I think you actually left a tad bit early.
Yeah, I am a little old, so I kind of like going to bed at a normal time.
All right, and what's your buffalo of the week?
My buffalo of the week is that I made soup yesterday. Zeppo Toscana from Olive Garden. Daniel, I got to say it's pretty good. It's very delicious.
I think for me, the highs of the week was also I went to that same Halloween party. I love Halloween, celebrate with friends. My lows was the fact that I pulled an all-nighter and had work right after. So that was straight 24 hours of being up, being tired. What's my randomness? At work, some guy dressed in the Joker costume sat right next to me as we were both using the bathroom.
What Joker was it?
Heath Ledger,
Is that the...
the good one. Tony, how about you? What was your high and low of the week?
like Javier said, Halloween just passed. My high was honestly not even Halloween itself, but actually making all the costumes. I ended up making 3 costumes for 3 separate groups, one with my girlfriend, one with my coworkers, and then one with just my friends. Ended up doing Mabel, Hiccup, and Scooby-Doo. It was a lot of fun. It was a blast. But I will say my low was actually yesterday. So what ended up happening was I forgot I had a midterm, so I ended up staying up until 3 a.m., and my class starts at 8. So it was not an amazing start for me today.
That's pretty fair. That's pretty fair, man.
My buffalo today was that I totally forgot that I was meeting with the president today, and I was not very well dressed. And with the president, I don't mean the president of the United States for any of those confused out there. I mean the president of TMCC.
Yeah, and I really wanted to ask you about that because you have quite the interesting life for a college student. You work up at TMCC, but yet you go to school here at UNR. You want to tell me how that is?
Yeah, I've been working at TMCC for a year and a half now, and I'm able to work there because I go to school here, right? It's like a student position, but I don't really have to go to school there. And honestly, I love the job. I wouldn't trade for anything else. Previous jobs, just don't compare to this.
I've known you for quite a long time at this point, Tony. And it's been, about 3 years since you graduated high school?
Yeah, I'd say.
That's very crazy how time flies. And, with that time change, you end up getting new responsibilities. Seeing as are you a full-time student?
Yes, I am a full-time student, 15
Are you a
credits.
part-time worker?
I am a part-time worker.
Yeah, and what is that like, Tony? So like, give us the rundown on like a
Yeah.
day in the life of
How's it feel
Tony.
balancing that?
It's honestly a lot. I mean, every day is usually a little bit different than others, but usually my Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays are usually my work days. But unfortunately, this year I was unfortunate to have a class before work, which starts at 8. So yeah, and it's early rising, and I'm not used to waking up early. I'm a very sleepy guy, if you know me.
Amen.
You again, like I play video games and it's a bad habit. But I'll stay up until like 12, 2 and wake up like at 10. And that was like the old me. Obviously nowadays I have to wake up for work, I have to go to school, and it's a big change. It really is. But school itself isn't hard necessarily. I think school is hard with everything it comes with. Obviously, school still has its challenges, but I think if I just did school, I would succeed. I think it'd be way easier than having to deal with a job.
And about your job, like what is your position at TMCC, and like what is the responsibility that comes down to like with that job position?
So my official job title is event planner, and as an event planner, I obviously plan events, but this deals with stuff with like making flyers, dealing with the Instagram, navigating stuff with other offices, like other faculty, staff members, and it really ranges. For example, today, like talking about like meeting with the president, but then I could also do fun stuff like welcome week. Like UNR has that. Most every college campuses have that. But one big difference is that usually you'll have a team of people to help with planning this stuff out, but it's just me at TMCC. So I'm really juggling a lot of stuff with like the budgets, calling people for food, just like a lot of miniature tasks that really just add up.
Would you call yourself a bit of an influencer with that position?
It's funny you say that because part of the reason I wanted to go into marketing was because of like influencing. Obviously, it's not the same per se, but I still find enjoyment in it, and I think I enjoy this more than influencing itself, because I don't think I could spend my time just scrolling through videos or editing, because oh my god, is that a pain? Like I get a little smidge of that at work every time I work on Instagram, and God, like I'm glad I get to do other stuff, because it's just a blast being able to do everything else.
I mean, it sounds like a great gig. I mean, I gotta wonder, like, are there any pressures with being like the event planner? I can imagine with the position title of that, there could be like a few pressures here and there. Has that ever like affected you or like haunted you in a moment?
It definitely has. I will say I think it affected me more the first year. I think the second year, which I'm doing currently right now, has made it easier because I've gotten like more into the groove. But the first year, since like people like knew me in classes, and again, like that's one thing that's nice about going to UNR and then working over there, is that no one really recognizes me. But the first year, like everyone like would go up to me like, "Oh, aren't you the event planner?" Or like they would just go up and like ask me questions. And sometimes people would like try to give me feedback on events, which is always nice. But it almost like sets some pressure for me in the sense of just like, oh, like obviously they're not pleased with the event, or like I guess like this is just like an insecurity I had early on, but it made me feel like, oh, like they think they could do better.
Right.
But I feel like there's just so much going on in the background that they can't see. I feel like I try to do my best to like make that thing whatever plan or process succeed.
Right, because I mean, for a lot of people, they can only see like the face value of it. They don't see like the behind the scenes, like ordering food, supplies, activities. They don't see like everything going wrong. And I'm not gonna lie, like I have like a little experience with that, not to like that scale, but I can totally see like where that might affect you in some like ways.
Yeah, no, that is really true, which is the sad thing about social media. I mean, I'm sure you've seen as being not so much an influencer, but being part of your community. You only see the good parts of what's happening. You really don't see the struggles that happen behind the scenes. As Daniel was saying, him being a bit of a filmmaker and a student, he can relate a lot to you, Tony. A lot more than I can, honestly. being said, how is it helping your community being part of Team CC and now being a part of UNR?
So one great thing about going to here and Team CC, I just get a lot more ideas. Like in general, like coming to events here, it opens up a world that I didn't even think about. Because I feel like one thing that's nice about having a team, which I don't have like the luxury of, obviously, like I have other team members in the office with me that help me with events, like from here and there. But they're not like it's not their designated job. Right, they have other stuff to do. They can't just solely help me. Like UNR has a team. I feel like they're able to relay a bunch of ideas with each other and just expand upon that. So when each time I come here, it's nice to see like what they thought about and how I can improve it when I come back to Team CC and what I can do and work on there.
No, I mean, Tony, you're a part-time worker, full-time student. You're a young adult, and I mean, as most of us would know, being a young adult is hard, especially in today's modern day. I gotta ask you, like, hey, was it like being a young adult now? What's it like having to like dip your toes in and deal with like the big boy problems?
I mean, in the beginning, it's always like the most fun, right? It's like, oh my God, I'm moving out of my house. And then like,
That freedom.
yeah, right. It's like, my parents won't nag me about like the dishes in the sink now. Right. But like, obviously I have to nag myself about the stuff in the sink now because like this week, especially, I mean, like it's Halloween, midterms. It's just really hard to keep up. Like as of right now, my room or like the whole house is a little bit of a mess right now.
Right.
It's really hard to like really just balance everything. And sometimes like I will have the time to do stuff, but sometimes that's the only time that I have for myself.
Right.
Right? Because half the time I'm moving around just doing work, doing school, doing homework, right? Or hanging with friends, right? And I value my friends a lot because I feel like it's a big part of like I feel like my reason for living, and I feel like I also need my me time, and sometimes my me time can only be for like an hour or two, right? Where I just sit down and watch TV, and during that time obviously watch or clean my house when I'm supposed to do or do my chores, but I don't because it's
That's like the only time you have like for yourself. No, I get what you mean. Like especially like with midterms, like the last 2 weeks, I feel like for me and myself, I wake up at like 7. I'm gone from my apartment for 8, 10, 12 hours. I come back, it's pitch dark. I like lay on my bed. I'm like, dude, I could be doing something else, but I'm like burnt from the day. And then suddenly my phone is ringing, and now I got 2 more other things I got to do.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. And I mean, you mentioned this a little bit ago that you're living in your own house right now. You're moving into a adult, not so much young. You're living on your own. My host, Daniel, he's living in an apartment with roommates, and I am living at home with my parents still. How does it feel being on your own? I know you live with your girlfriend, but how do you afford a lifestyle being able to live out on your own?
Like being able, like, what can you expand? Like afford, like financially, or
Yeah, being able to juggle a house, school, work.
Yeah, like how do you balance out all 3 of those? Do you have any struggles about like rent's coming up, I still got books I gotta pay, or like energy was a little too high this month, or like I gotta buy groceries this week.
yeah. I mean, like, so theoretically, I am living paycheck to paycheck. Because I do like this $0 budget thing where I know where each dollar is going, and like I already have that like predicted a month in advance. Like $200 of that is going to my savings, so I'm making a little bit of money like there. If I miss like a day or two, it really does mess up my schedule, right? And I mean, it happens. Like you're sick or I'm late for work. I need to do homework. Like it's just a lot.
I get what you mean. Like, there's been a couple of days where like I have been like too sick to go to work, and at first it's fine. It's because it's like, oh, I'm sick, I can't be going to work, and then you see that paycheck and you see the difference.
Yeah.
Of, like, I really could have used that money, but I really just couldn't get myself to like get out of the house and go to work without dying out there.
Yeah, and you want to give like 100% of the time, like all the time. Like you want to do it tired because you have to, but like sometimes you really just can't. And I think that's really hard. And I think I'm really fortunate enough to have enough money because since this is my first year moving out, all I did with my money before that was just save. Obviously for future expenses, like buying a car, buying a house, but like occasionally I will have to dip into that. But I wouldn't be able to do that without my parents because they let me stay there until I was 20,
Yeah, and I gotta ask, like, I know that TMCC is like considered like is a lot cheaper to go to TMCC than UNR. I know that you had financial aid, you had FAFSA scholarships. Was the jump to UNR ever like a worry for you financially wise, or have you noticed like there's like I have less money now 'cause classes are doubled, triple the cost?
So there was a little bit of worry about that. I knew I was gonna be fine, but I felt like I got used to it, right? I got used to like they're gonna give me free schooling because I did like a community service, like such and such, right? So coming over and actually having to pay for some of my classes
You got a
was
fat bill, the
right.
fat bill waiting for you.
It actually kind of felt like, I guess like a little slap to the face,
Oh,
you know, just kind of like a little reality check. So for me, it made me realize like how much more I actually need to pay attention to scholarships. Because before my school was like paid off and I got most of my scholarships from like Millennial, just very basic stuff like that. This year I'm definitely looking out for scholarships more often, just because before it was like any money I made just came back to me, but now any money I make just is going towards the school.
imagine. I know, Javier, I saw you smiling throughout that because you don't got to deal with UNR sending you a fat bill every end of the month.
No, I do not. But I do hear Maria struggles with paying for classes.
Yeah, no,
I
I
do
think
understand that.
for sure. Like, I know whenever I'm in a bad mood, that's when UNR springs me with the hey, your tuition's almost due. And that's been, years of fun dealing with that and trying to pull thousands of dollars out of my empty wallet. I can imagine like for a lot of students here, that's also a big struggle. I know a lot of students have better financial standings or scholarships. But I can imagine like there's a few students that have to go out and get all that work out and do whatever they have to do to get that paid.
No, definitely. I mean, everyone has a different financial standing from where they come from, albeit family, hierarchy, social class. It's just harder for different people, I do come from a fairly higher middle class family, so it's a lot easier for me to do what I want to do. I know, Daniel, you kind of come from that sort of family too, but they aren't as open to helping you as most people.
Yeah, for me, it wasn't exactly like oh, hey, Dad, can I cover this bill for me this month? Oh, well, great, amazing. I'll cook dinner this month. I didn't get that, which is for like other like family reasons. And I think that the biggest struggle I've been having is just trying to balance out school, work, social life. I know that's a big struggle for a lot of college students having to work 40 to 50 hours a week to afford their classes, but, trying to commit to their friends. Tony, I know that you've had some personal struggles with that, like the past.
Yeah, just like some of my friends trying to be EMTs, or my friends just have completely opposite schedules from me. Like most of my days range from like working from 9 to 5, right? The classic old business job. Most of my friends like go to school at night, or it's very sporadic. I rarely get to see my friends, and if I do get to see my friends, it's for like an hour of the day, right? Which just miraculously happens to be that we're both free for that time. And on the weekends, and again, I'm super lucky to have weekends off. Oh my God, when I didn't have,
Oh, yeah.
when I didn't have weekends off, oh my God, how much I dreaded looking like towards a Friday. I almost like have a sense of sadness now anytime the weekend comes over, because now it's just like, okay, now I need to catch up with cleaning, just very daily, boring stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like cleaning the car, getting oil change, just tasks, like just everyday task, right? Going to get groceries. And it's stuff that you don't think takes long, it's stuff you don't think it takes long, but it somehow just consumes your entire day before you even know it.
Exactly.
Just like it's doing basic stuff like cleaning toilets, doing laundry. Like it's stuff that's like repetitive that people tend to do every week or every other week. It just happens, And days gone just like that. And like before, it was like, oh, like I don't have to work this day, I don't have to work. But then like all my friends are working that day. Like even if I want to hang out with my friends, I can't because they're working that Saturday, Sunday. It's really bittersweet, right? It's like I was lucky enough to get the weekend off, but most of my friends don't, because that's how most jobs operate.
Yeah, I know for like there's a good amount of like people I know, like we don't exactly get like weekends off, or if we want to go somewhere, it has to be like a big event. We got to schedule like weeks in advance. You got to figure out, okay, can I afford to like sacrifice this day? Can I do this? Or like, oh, if I take the day off, okay, I can clean the car. I got to clean the house. I got to do all this. It's like, oh, cool. I don't have a free day actually. Javier, I know you got a busy schedule, You work the actual like 9 to 5, 50, 40 hours a week.
Yeah, but I mean, compared to students, I work and then I go home, which is honestly for me very easy. Albeit it is, like you said, 40 hours, 8 to 5, a very corporate America job. It's easy, honestly. I know a lot of people make it seem like it's hard, but maybe that's just my job. Easy compared to others. But I know for you, working in a casino, you do work late nights, and it's hard to balance that with your friends. I mean, compared to high school, being able to just leave, after
Like
school.
your problem stopped at like 2:30.
Yeah,
But like
basically.
at college, it's like you don't get to like clock out. And like I know for you, like you said, like oh if your job it stops at like 5. But like I know you have like other stuff that comes up. I know for college it's like okay great, I finished my 8-hour shift. Let me go study for that like Spanish midterm I got on like Tuesday.
Seriously. I think the worst is when you have like all of them like lined up, like all the midterms.
Oh right,
on the
back to
same
back
day.
to back. Oh.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. But going back to like what Tony says, it's hard lining up with other people.
Yeah.
I know with you, it's hard to going out at night because then you have work either early in the morning or work starting that night. With Tony, he has responsibilities at home. He has student life and the part-time job. So it's really just hard balancing out with your friends when everyone's living such a different lifestyle at the moment.
I mean, like, yeah, it comes down to also just like how you respond to it. Like, hey, how do you like de-stress? How do you like value what little time you have? I know for me, like, I love watching like films. I love writing films. And like, I love like dipping my low budgets into Lego. 'Cause gotta love building Lego. I mean, like Javier, I know you're a big like gamer. You love playing games when you're like off work.
Yeah, I try to do things that don't cost as much money, which, I mean, everything does to a certain degree. It ends up racking itself up. I do like my games, and I drive a motorcycle, which I do like. It is fun. It takes a lot off my mind. In all honesty, it's just finding that balance in your life, You can't just be work or school, or friends for that matter. If you are all friends, all school, you're going to become homeless at one point because you have no money.
Oh god, that was quite the jump. Yeah.
But I mean, if you're also just all work, you're going to have lots of money but no time to really use it or spend it. And I know with Tony, he has found a pretty good balance so far as I can see.
Yeah, I mean, so I gotta ask, like, hey, what do you do to like balance it all out? What do you do to kind of like decompress, take a break from like the day to day of like the struggles of like trying to get through it all?
Call me crazy, but
Okay,
but
that's a good
I
start.
actually have most of my hours planned out throughout the week in the sense of just like a general guideline. Obviously, life isn't perfect and stuff happens, right? You get stuck in traffic. You take longer to cook, right? It's just small stuff like that. But it's just a general guideline that I follow just to meet what I want to meet. And each hour can vary from being like, this is my me time and this is my homework time. Again, it's just such a luxury to be able to do that stuff. But I think it really comes down to like discipline, honestly. And that's like I don't know, like I want to say it's really cliche, but it's really annoying. It's like it's discipline and privilege, right?
Right.
I have the privilege to set a time aside for certain stuff of the day.
Like I can have my fun, but I gotta make sure I do like the important
Yeah.
stuff too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know. Like for me, I love hanging with friends, but I know like if we go do this, I gotta just like sacrifice like an hour to 3 hours just to go get like food because we're gonna sit down,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk the whole
Right.
time.
Like as much as you want to be like, it only take an hour. It's not going to take an hour. It's
Yeah,
going to take
yeah.
at least 3.
I don't know. My bad habit is I always like underestimate. I'm like, oh, I'll go out with this person. Oh, that's like a half hour. Then I come back like 2 hours later. Great.
Yeah.
I cut into like my work time.
Yeah. No, exactly. And yeah, I think it's just like discipline and like knowing when to say no and learning when to say yes to yourself. I think it took me a while to learn that. I felt like I was very much a people pleaser in the sense of just like if someone asked me to hang out, like I would want to do it. And I always want to do it. But the biggest thing is just like, can I do it and should I do it? Right? Like my priorities, most of the time, it's always like school first. Because obviously, like I'm paying like thousands of dollars. Yeah,
to sit in that class. Like you gotta value that, especially
Yeah.
when you feel it in your wallet.
To me, it just seems like knowing where your priorities lie.
Like I would love to like go get like lunch with a friend, walk around like the Sparks Marina, but then it's like, oh, I have to go study for my midterm tomorrow. I have a project due, And I think just like trying to figure out that right balance of like, okay, I can do this as long as it like accomplishes this, and I get to do this. I know like Javier for you is like, oh, okay, I want to go, I want to hang with the guys at night. But it's like, oh, I got work at like 6 or 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I think it's just the real struggle. Just like, hey, how do I find that balance with everything? How do I make sure that like I'm ahead in my classes, I'm doing great, but I'm not sacrificing that personal time? Because like at the end of the day, like 20 years from now, you're not gonna be telling me about like when you studied for that one midterm. You're gonna tell me about how you went out with your friends that one
seriously,
time.
yeah.
You're gonna have that night walk, or like you saw this really cool thing. You're not gonna tell me about like your Spanish essay and how you sat there on a Zoom call saying the words over and over again.
And real quick, I wanted to bring it to, you said like taking time for yourself, or like your me time, I guess.
Yeah.
I want to ask, like, how are you with like social media or just being on your phone?
Oh man, for me, I hop on some social media. Like my main one that I use is like Instagram or like YouTube, especially like YouTube. I love putting on background songs or like background like podcasts or like video essays in the background while I do something. But like TikTok hasn't been an issue. I don't really use Twitter, Snapchat, or any of those. But I think it's also like I think I should probably cut back on the YouTube. That's why you put limiters. I know a lot of friends who put limiters on themselves, and I've always just made sure like, oh, when I'm doing this, I'm not doing this other thing.
Yeah.
And, I've been criticized for having like multi-screen on, having all of that. But like at the end of the day, it's like, okay, like I like having something in the background to like listen to. I love hearing like music or a podcast. And just hearing, like, I've been getting really big into, like, icebergs recently. Like, I watched a 2-hour iceberg on George Lopez the other day. Well, listen, not to, like, watch.
Sure.
My fault. But, yeah, it's just, I think just big thing is just, like, having the right mindset about social media. Like, I think the hardest thing is, you go on there and you see some, like, for me especially, you see someone who, like, graduated and now they're like, oh, I'm in Alaska. I'm fishing. I'm catching giant crabs. Or I'm in Hawaii right now. I'm looking at the beautiful beaches. Thank God I am not at school right now at the books. And you're just like, damn, I wish that was me right now. You just gotta realize this, like, no one's posting their day-to-day, like, mundane stuff. Like, there's just people's highs. Like, once you fully get that, then it helps you a lot better with social media.
Yeah.
What
Sorry.
about you? Oh,
Real quick, I just wanted to say, like, I think it's just, like, the tendency of, like, comparing someone's highlights to your lowlights.
Oh, yeah, dude. Like, comparison at the end of the day is, like, the worst thing. Because it's like, no matter like what you do, it's different lives for people. And like, I'm sure when I'm on a trip, somebody else is like at their 9 to 5, like wishing they were there. And that's going to be me when I see somebody else push about their trip to Fiji while I'm like at the casino.
Yeah.
Well, Virana, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever met anyone that's really posted how their life is truly going. Like you said, it's really the highlights of your life. I mean, we did just go on a trip to Japan.
That is true. That is true.
I don't think I was posting anything bad about
I didn't
that.
post it.
That's true. Tony will drop that by summer at some point.
At this point, I haven't posted about it either.
Yeah, I think I'm the only one that posted that.
That is true. Watch out for the drop, guys. It'll come eventually.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I do think that social media has its good qualities and its bad qualities. It definitely has connected us to people. I mean, you look at Tony's job. He's an event coordinator, and he uses social media to connect the community. But it also affects people. I mean, I know for me, I do doom scroll a little bit after work, and especially before bed, which is not good because I have to be up and at 'em pretty
Right.
early
It's like,
for work.
you tell yourself you're going to bed, and then you lay in bed, lights all turned off. But you turn on the small screen and you just start scrolling for another like hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like it's a thing about working on like my me time is like what me time really means, and is it self-care? I feel like self-care is like thrown out. It's a word thrown out a lot, but like, and it's really simple in theory, but actually doing it I think is like the hard part. Because I also agree on like the doom scrolling. It is really hard. I feel like I fall into that pit sometimes, and I've literally like blocked that on my phone. Like from 9 to 5, I cannot go on TikTok or Instagram.
That's severe, damn.
Like like I can I will not let myself, because I will go down that rabbit hole. Because at first, like I used to believe like, oh, like I'm just gonna scroll, like I'm just relaxing, like I'm just shutting off my brain, right? But then I turn off my phone, and then I'm just like, what did I gain from that? like nothing.
Like you sat there, you were like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll just watch for 15 minutes, and then
Like-
15 turns a half hour,
Yeah.
and then an hour, and then you're like 2 hours. You're like,
And
damn,
and
I
it's
could use
like
that time.
I could probably tell you one video I remember, and I probably wouldn't even be able to tell you like clearly what it was.
Right.
Right. It's just like it's going in, it's going out. It's like funny in the moment, but it's just like it's genuinely just it just numbs my brain. You know, it doesn't fuel me at all when I feel like I could actually be spending my time. Again, I love to draw, and I feel like something I neglect at times. And sometimes I feel like the hardest step is just actually starting the first step, right?
Right.
It's just like actually getting paper and pencil out, starting, right? So like I've been more diligent on that, on the sense of making sure I'm putting my time into places where I want it to be.
Yeah, no, that's pretty fair. Because I mean, like, if I had $1 for every time, like, I doom scrolled and I was like, dude, I should have done something else, man.
Mm.
I think I could actually afford like to go to school here, but like, but yeah, I mean, it's just always that bigger struggle of like, you know, taking the good with the bad. Like social media, like it's great, you know. I mean, literally, Pick Up My Couch was an Instagram group chat during COVID. Hey, like,
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
and it's like, you know, I remember there was a time you and me only conversed on Instagram because you didn't have a phone yet.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, and I was living it up, you know, like
yeah, I mean,
like
that big yellow iPad. I remember that one.
you know, and I really became what I didn't want to become in the sense of just being like addicted to my phone.
Yeah, no, I get the gist. Like, I think all of us could greatly, like, you know, benefit from like not using our phones as much.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's going to be like a very big like uphill to like get over that, whether it be putting limiters
Mm-hmm.
or like just choosing not to like put it on. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound really corny when you think about it. Like, oh, I just need to start. I just need to start today.
Yeah.
but then
That
it's like
literally
it's so
is
real. Like,
how it is. You just need to start. You just need to put it down. You just need to lock it.
yeah, I know for me, like always starting the thing is always like the hardest for me. Like whether it be like script writing, editing, or
Yeah.
just like something else, it's always just starting it. Like once I do it for like 10 minutes, then I'm in it. I'm so in there. But like it's always the starting point where I'm just like, dude, I don't want to do this, or like
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Tony, one of your big things is drawing. And we have our nights, Gartic Phone, drawing game online. And honestly, once we're in it for about, half an hour, I really do get into the moment of being able to pick up a pen and draw again. It's really nice. I mean, it's just starting. It's going out for that walk. It's putting down the phone. It's cleaning your room. It's just beginning the task. That's the hardest.
yeah, bro. Speak for yourself on the Gartic phone thing, bro. Like,
Man, the
I can't
skill
draw,
issue.
and I gotta follow up like your guys' drawings. Like that's like the worst slap in the
Hey,
face
man,
ever.
you excel in different types of arts.
Exactly.
Yeah, bro. Let's have a short film contest instead of like a Gartic phone.
God,
night.
that would take so long.
Come on,
You
bro.
know what, we can do a horror one.
No, I've had my fill
Oh,
with horror
come
this
on.
last Halloween, bro. Well, awesome. Thank you guys for joining me today on the first episode of the Pick Up My Couch podcast. Tune in next week for next Pick Up My Couch podcast.
Bye.
Adios.